Today we've got the Maiden flight on the Freewing Zeus 8S. Let's look at some of the equipment we got for today and what we'll be rolling with on the flight. So first thing is, I just want to go over a few things I noticed about the initial setup on this bird. One is the way it's set up for transportation. This thing is so nice when it comes to setting it up. It's because you've got 4 pins, 2 on each wing that you have for quick connect and disconnect, so you can lock and unlock it without even using any tools, because they normally got, you know, Phillips head screws. So you can just hit those tabs on each side and unlock them, take the wing off. Then you just got the fuselage. On the fuselage, it actually has a place to put the ribbon cables so they don't fall back in the fuselage or just hanging out. Also, it's got the magnetic nose cone you can take off on the front. So definitely easy to transport if you got a smaller vehicle. Also, putting it together, super simple. Everything that connects wings, the vertical with the rudder, the horizontal with the elevator, the rear section, because this section back here is actually off of it in the box and it just clips in, and then you got 1 screw on the top and bottom. There's also quick plugs back here with the extension lead, so you got a little board to hook the rudder in. Down here you've got where it holds the wiring in. So I mean, they've definitely thought of a lot when they put this bird together. We're going to be flying with the Radiomaster TX16S with the AGO1 gimbals today. Let's take a look at our battery placement. I'm a little bit forward of the CG. However, like most sport jets, I'm sure this has got plenty of elevators, so we'll keep it a little bit more forward. We're running 2 SMC 4S 5300 LIHVs, running those in series for 8S. We've got our Spectrum AR8360T, which has a gyro. We're going to have it off for the first flight though. We've got the serial remote receiver on the top there, and then in our future videos we're going to do some speed runs, and our flight review will have a top speed, and in that flight review we'll go over the top speeds with a ADAS setup and show you, what this bird's capable of. They say 150 mile an hour, so we're going to put that to the test. So we've done enough talking about this bird. Let's get it up in the air and get this maiden flight completed. Nice easy takeoff.
Gear up.
Pull the gear up. Might not need any trim. Rates feel okay. Hands off. A little bit of nose down, so it should be okay as far as when we put the gear down, because the gear goes aft, so it's going to shift the CG just a hair, but I'm going to try to open it up right here and go over the field. Go up. God, this thing has crazy vertical on 8S. I can see where energy management is going to be easy on this bird. I'll slow it down. I come down the runway here. I'm actually going to go to
Aileron medium.
mid-race on the aileron.
2 minutes.
I can tell this is definitely likes to fly fast. I mean, you barely give it any throttle and it's just zipping around in the sky. So we're going to come back by the runway here. Go ahead and get the gear down. Gear doesn't move too slow. You can see it's moving around a little bit. It still flies clean when the wind's not blowing that hard. We got gyro off for this flight. Flaps full. Feels like it's coming in good. Flies clean. A little bit more wing loading on the 8S. We're going to put the power back. Power's all the way out. Let the nose come down.
Flight mode 3. Brakes.
Right on the edge of the runway. We're going to taxi it back. I think it was a successful maiden flight. We were 1:07 left, so we went about 2.5 minutes on the throttle. We were in air for 2.5 minutes as well. So felt good overall. Reverse thrust seems like it worked decent. We'll take it back to the bench, look at the battery results, and do a post-flight review. Now we've got the maiden flight completed on the Freewing Zeus 90mm. Let's talk about the maiden flight and some things I noticed, and we'll take a look at the battery results. Put it on the center line, took out, went right down the center line, track straight, really smooth lifting out. This plane's got quite a bit of elevator authority, so it picked the nose up no problem. Crosswind rolled it right just a hair, corrected it, brought on the downwind. Felt like the CG was a little back with the gear down, put the gear up. CG was a little nose down, so it felt good overall with the gear up and down. Made a few passes. Some people talk about the blue and white scheme's a little bit harder to see on this plane. This sky we got today, blue and white sky, it definitely seemed that way, so I was trying to keep it in close. However, with the 8S power and the extra weight, definitely want to keep the speed up a little bit, so I was trying to balance between visibility and, keeping the plane safe and stable in the air. We were on a 3:30 timer. Looks like we were 1 minute left on the flight time for the battery, so we flew about 2.5 minutes in the sky, and we were 3 minutes total time. So 2.5 on the throttle, 3 minutes in the sky. So felt like a pretty good flight overall. Fairly short, but just want to get up, get it trimmed out. Let's take a look at our battery results. I'm going to check the other battery. We do have the Freewing afterburner plugged in the other one. 4.07 across the board. So I'm thinking with the flying that we were doing right there, we can definitely get up around 4 to 5 minutes, and that's pushing it where we kind of, didn't push it as hard on this flight. So the advantages of this plane on 8S, plenty of power, plenty of speed. It's definitely can move across the sky. The lights showed up really well, especially with the flashing ones on the top and the bottom. The Freewing afterburner showed up fairly well, being during the day. It's not the most expensive afterburner, but if you fly in the evening, it'll definitely show up with no problem. Coming in with the flaps, first approach, brought it in. Didn't need any flapped elevator mix, and I didn't have to trim any in with the flight modes on the Radiomaster TX16. So brought it in, sat it down easy, rolled out. Definitely rolled out a little bit faster having the extra weight on board. Hit the reverse thrust, it slowed it down enough. We turned around in the runway for a successful maiden. We're gonna have some future reviews on this plane with top speed results. We got the Spectrum GPS sensor in there, and we'll do a little bit more in-depth coverage on this plane. But first impression, I really like this bird. I've flown different size sport jets, 80s and 90s, and I'm gonna tell you just my first impression, this bird ranks up there to the top. It's a high energy bird, fast, it flies clean. So definitely impressed with the maiden fly and my first impressions of this jet. So if you're not following the channel, go ahead and subscribe. If you liked what you've seen today, go ahead and push like on the video, and we'll see you on the next one.